Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Shop Talk with Logan and Noah. Today we're kind of going to follow last week's format as far as we're not going to do 7 for 7, we're not going to do any hot takes. This week we're going to still focus on March Madness, and then at the end we'll kind of give you a sports recap. But to start the show, I want to talk about the first 4 play-in games, right? So we had Norfolk, that's how Virginia people say it. Norfolk, but it's spelled Norfolk. Okay. Yeah. Norfolk versus App State. That was one of the first games, right? And it was 54-53, close game. Norfolk State went to go play Gonzaga, right?
Yeah.
And then we had Wichita State versus Drake. Seems like Drake fans were at the game and they were absolutely going berserk because they got the play-in game and then they lost in the first round. I thought that was pretty funny because I saw some people from back home put it on their story. The third play-in game was Mount St. Mary's versus Texas Southern. I know nothing about that game. I just know it happened.
Yeah, no clue.
And then the fourth play-in game, which I thought was extremely interesting and very eye-opening, was Michigan State versus UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Izzo, do you remember the streak that you brought up as far as how many times he's been? Because this year was putting him on that cusp, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it was, but
I don't know if they count it
because it was
because they said this was Drake's first ever tournament win, but they didn't get a win. You know what I mean? Like they
first ever tournament win, but it was the first 4 playing games.
But it was part of they just got to the tournament.
Did they really win a tournament game?
That's what I'm saying. Is they kept talking about it on the damn TiVo, and I was like, but they didn't win a damn game.
They didn't.
I don't know.
But I do. Something that was interesting, right, was the UCLA because they had the play-in game,
mm-hmm.
won by 6, and then they played BYU and beat them.
Yeah,
which I don't know because I'm not a huge UCLA fan. They have great history, but for them to go play-in game, beat a number 6 seed, and then who do they play next? You have it right there. Kansas.
We got UCLA Abilene Christian.
Oh, UCLA Abilene Christian. Okay, and that's an 11 and 14, right? Seed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So that will, I don't know. That's a tough call too. So, I mean, do you have anything on the first 4 playing games? Anything to add there? But
I thought Tom Izzo was gonna be able to pull it out. I really did.
So did I.
But I liked, honestly, that was a really good play-in game that both of those teams I think should have been in the tournament regardless.
Do you mind turning on that fan, please? It's extremely hot in here.
I got you.
Appreciate you.
I think both those teams should have been in the tournament regardless.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought it doesn't really matter who wins that game. Both of those teams are more than capable of beating BYU.
Mm-hmm.
BYU is a very soft 6 seed.
Yeah.
Wasn't a huge fan of it. And then
I
obviously
didn't think BYU really, from highlights that I've seen over the year, wow, that feels amazing. I didn't think that they were a 6 seed by any means.
Nah, dude, they're not. I mean, they're not that good. Their conference is weak as hell. Yeah, so they don't play anybody. I mean, they had transfer Matt Harms from Purdue. Shout out Boilermaker. But he's a non-factor. Matt Harms is a non-factor.
No.
I'd actually rather him on the court if I'm playing that team. And
yeah,
it's
because
it
almost like brings them
and
down.
He's a starter, dude. I mean, he gets good minutes. So if you're Matt Harms, sorry, buddy, you're just sad. I mean, it's really tragic what's happening, and you went out first round, and you deserve it. So,
wow, coming from a true fan right there. But to move on from those, the round of 64. I think the biggest thing to come out of the round of 64 is maybe 2 things, right? We have Ohio State going down, which absolutely busted your bracket.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody's bracket is busted.
Everybody's
but just
done.
Shat on it. And then you also have Ohio beating Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the second time that seems like Virginia has just gone out, and it's like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
Defending champs, 4 seed. But your guy, I mean, Ohio beat Virginia 62-58, and your guy Jason Preston put up 11 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists. He almost had a triple-double. That's insane.
Yeah.
Have you watched that kid play this year?
I have, a couple times.
And is he
I watched him play Illinois at the very beginning of the year, and so that's what kind of put Ohio on the map for me, because they only lost by, I want to say 2. And he played ridiculous then. I think he almost had 30 that game.
Oh, my.
So, yeah, I mean, he's been playing that way all year. Ohio's been legit since the beginning of the year, and they proved it in that first round against Virginia.
They did. They really did. And what hurt me to watch in the round of 64 was to watch Georgetown absolutely blow it.
Yeah.
Like, just against Colorado. Just absolutely shit the bed.
Tough to watch.
It's extremely sloppy, and it looks like Patrick didn't get any chemistry in that team.
No.
Like, nothing. It looked like they had barely any college ball experience.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't shoot the ball. I mean, I don't even know what the score was, but they lost by, like, I don't know, almost 15, 20.
Yeah, it was gross.
It was absolutely disgusting.
They almost put up 100 on them.
And I thought Georgetown was going to be a serious contender just because they have that veteran mentality behind the clipboard.
96-73.
I mean, to almost get put up on 100 points on, and it's a college basketball game.
Gross.
That's
gross.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Moving on, UCLA went from, like I said, the beating BYU and advancing to the round of 32, and now they play Abilene Christian. We talked about that. UNC, I'm repping them just because I'm loyal.
It's fair.
You lost.
That was fucking terrible, dude.
Dude,
no chemistry.
I told you it was going to happen.
You lost by 23 points.
I told you it was going to happen.
You did, but 23 points?
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
It's not like the team has shitty players.
Individually, they're pretty decent players, but when you put them together,
there's no click.
They ain't got it.
I don't know why.
They ain't got it.
I'm going to blame it on COVID. That's where I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
But it seems like other teams figured out chemistry, but that was really hard to watch because the first 10 minutes of the game were like, okay. And then the back 10 minutes of the first half was like, oh, this is ugly.
This is ugly.
And then halftime comes, every announcer's like, Tar Heels suck.
Yeah.
And then we come back from half and just shit the bed. Just absolutely nobody showed up.
No adjustments.
Nobody
said, I'm going to try to make the difference here. Nope. And it just didn't work.
Now, I don't want to answer this question, so I'm going to ask it to you.
Okay.
How long does Roy Williams have?
Depending on what kind of recruiting classes he has in the next few years.
He needs to fire whoever fucking recruited this class.
Yeah, probably. But however these next few recruiting classes come in, I would say would give us a telltale sign as of how much longer Roy Williams is just going to stay in college basketball.
Because at this point, Roy Williams' contract.
At this point, he's done everything you could hope to do as a coach in NCAA. He's made all the money.
This was his first time ever going out of the round of 64.
Won a championship before. I mean,
several times.
Been there, done that. And he's obviously one of the best coaches to ever do it.
Ever.
So I don't know what else he has left to prove. And I don't know, dude. If I'm him, dude, I'm thinking
extension through 2028.
2028.
Makes about $2 million a year.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we got him through 2028 unless he retires.
Extension through 2028, and that was posted in 2018. So he signed a 10-year deal?
Wow.
Is this John Gruden up in here?
That's crazy.
Damn.
Calipari's on a lifetime contract.
He gets to say when he's done?
I guess.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. Lifetime contract? Well, Kentucky
signed that back in
2018,
2019.
So Kentucky can't fire him?
I don't think so. I don't know why they would.
What if he keeps up what he just did this year?
I don't think you can blame Calipari.
What if that just becomes a consistent? We just missed it. Next year we just missed it this year. I mean, next year if I just we're almost there.
I don't know. The school had faith in him, gave him a lifetime contract, so it's like.
I mean, but wasn't that just after
his?
He only has one national championship, as far as I'm aware, and that's with Anthony Davis, right? Was that the year after? Was that when he signed that contract? He won them one national championship, and Kentucky was like, "Hey, man, we found our guy."
I'm really not sure. I forget.
Maybe we can look.
I'm really not sure.
Next, my team was UNC. Your team is Purdue.
Yeah, Boilers took a tough loss to North Texas. Ugly game. Just not fun to watch. I mean, Travion Williams played almost no minutes in the first half. It was gross. And without Travion Williams in the game, Purdue struggles.
What is Painter doing? Why is he withholding that play?
Williams got himself into foul trouble.
Okay.
And also when he just wasn't playing very well.
You want to take a guess at how many threes you guys put up?
30.
30.
Yeah.
And you made 9.
Yeah. 9 of 30.
You guys were forcing shots.
Yeah. Travion Williams finished with 14, 13, and 5. So it was a good line, but it just means he played his ass off in the second half. First half, they just couldn't stay with him. Jaden Ivey finishes with 26. But then you finish with 11 turnovers and you shoot 9 from 30 from 3. So you can't expect to turn the ball over, not make shots, and win a ball game. So
it kind of looked like the because Painter, that's his name, right? Painter. Yeah. He's a damn good coach.
Oh yeah.
So he's drawn up the right plays, but it didn't look like the plays were coming together on the court.
They just couldn't put the ball in the hoop. No confidence. You expect a guy like Sasha Stefanovic to step up, hit some big threes, trying to get momentum going for these guys. And the only person that was really grinding it out was Jaden Ivey, and he's a freshman. So it's hard.
And it didn't look like there was a leader that stuck out on that court either.
No.
Like somebody to be like, yo, we need to get our together so we can. It didn't seem like that was happening either.
No, nobody really stepped up and took over. Travion tried. Jaden tried. But it just didn't work. Didn't work.
Agreed. Next game, Colgate. Right, they lost. Kind of the a final score doesn't give them justice to how they played that game.
It does not.
They put up a game against Arkansas.
Yeah, no, they did.
Or as I call them, Arkansas, and they absolutely went ballistic until the last 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
And then Arkansas
they got hot and
they found a 3-pointer.
Ran it up a little bit.
But that was a fun game to watch.
That was a very fun game to watch, and I'm pretty sure Colgate got up by like double digits at one point.
No, they were winning.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Like this
they were shooting the lights
out. This might be
dude.
another Cinderella story that adds into that.
Yeah.
But it
didn't turn out, but they
pulled it out.
looked good.
They did. They looked
good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they did.
We talked about Ohio State, but I kind of want to go over some numbers in that game. Because Oral Roberts, or I kind of have a little Pat McAfee called him Oral Bob, and I kind of like that. It's kind of a different thing.
Oral Bob.
Oral Bob.
Okay.
I like it. So they beat Ohio State by 3.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's Obanor.
Kevin. Just call him Kevin.
I didn't know it was his first name. I just saw a K. So
yeah.
Kevin put up 30 points and 11 boards.
Mm-hmm.
Abmas, is that sure?
Let's call him Max.
Max. Didn't know that was his first name either. I just saw an M.
Yeah.
29 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah.
He shot 50% from the 3-point line. If those guys can put up almost 30 a night, averaging almost 7 rebounds, and he's hitting 50% at 3-point, that team is actually a team to watch out. Because if they can get hot, especially in a tournament like this, anybody can get hot anytime. Or Roberts might be a legit Cinderella to go take the whole national.
It would be crazy, but if they keep playing the way they have, they can play with anybody.
They can. They proved it against Ohio State.
You got a guy.
Now is Ohio State the best team?
Max Abmas, or however you say his last name,
mm-hmm.
But he'll go out and get you a bucket whenever you need.
100%.
Whenever you need it, it's just in his veins, dude. It's just he's gross. And then obviously this Kevin O'Banner kid, he's put up 30, and what did he put up last night? He put up 28 last night. So 28 and 11.
So he's averaging 29.
So he's averaging 29 and 11 boards.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous. And then you also have a guy that's who put up.
But that's just not averaging almost
29 and 26.
Right.
So.
But that's not averaging 29 in playing bum teams. That's averaging 29 the past 2 games.
Ohio State and Florida.
And you're playing in the tournament.
Yeah, Ohio State and Florida.
Yeah, and then he's
that's
putting
legit.
So if he can do that against those teams, then who's to say what he can do the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, that's legit, dude.
Some teams that I think that people should watch out for. Loyola Chicago, beating Georgia Tech and beating the number 1 Illinois team. And this isn't something that's very prominent, but they have scored 71 points every game so far.
Really?
These last two they've put 71, and I forget what I checked it, but I forgot to write it down. Yeah, they put up 7, and they have Sister Jean.
Sister Jean, dude.
101 putting up
It's that
prayers.
little Lucky Charm, bro.
I love it.
4-leaf clover.
I absolutely love it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I think you should watch out for Syracuse.
Syracuse looks nice.
That's a damn good coach they have, and Jim Boeheim. I mean, they beat San Diego State 78-62, and they came and beat number 3 West Virginia 75-72.
It's a really good win.
Yeah, great win. I think they have a great coach, and then his son Buddy. I mean, he put up 25 points, sealed the game with free throws. I think honestly, Syracuse, if they get hot, they can stay hot as well.
Oh, I agree. It's a good defense. If Buddy Boeheim continues to shoot the ball like he has, then they are gross.
Yeah.
They are a really good team with a really good coach, like you said. And, yeah, I mean, Jim Boeheim's been here, done this, and he knows what he needs to do to get it done. And obviously he's done it twice already, and I don't doubt he does it again.
No, yeah, I think he definitely could because, I mean, he's got the pedigree. He's got the mentality to get his team in the right spot when they need to be.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's really something to watch, Syracuse and Loyola Chicago. But we're going to head to a break real quick. We'll come back on the other side with I'm going to give you some of my locks for the East, West, South, and Midwest, and we'll see what Noah has to say. Catch you on the other side. Hey everybody, welcome back to Shop Talk. So for the second part, I kind of want to go over our locks as far as who we think can advance from the round of 32, who hasn't played yet, because remember, as you guys figured out, we shoot prior, well not live show. I also want to talk about who comes out of the Sweet 16 as far as we know. So, with that being said, my locks coming out of the West and the East. From the round of 32, I got Ohio beating Creighton. Creighton is, as far as things that I've seen, is that they can be pretty inconsistent, and they're very beatable for being a 5 seed.
Absolutely.
Extremely beatable.
Absolutely.
My next lock comes in at Colorado beating Florida State. Colorado plays really, really, really well together. They move the ball almost like an NBA team, and they can absolutely run up the score if you're not paying attention. I mean, they won their first game against Georgetown with 96 points.
Yeah.
Like we've said, putting up 100 in the college game.
They put up 96 on the Big East champ, so I mean that's pretty legit.
I mean, so
yeah.
I think Colorado is definitely a good team to pick as far as coming out. I believe that's a West team or an East team. And then my last lock in the East and the West is Abilene Christian beating UCLA. UCLA is a play-in team. They did make their way to the round of 32, but I think this is where it kind of ends for them. I think Abilene Christian has some type of almost like a Loyola Sister Jean charm with them. They got something riding with them, and maybe it's the Jesus thing. I love that for one. But it seems like these what's their mascot? I forget. I just had it. But they're coached really well, especially if you watch this last game, and they played very efficient basketball. Especially if you look at the box scores, everybody's got at least 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. I mean, if you can have the whole roster doing that, because obviously people are going to do better than that, but if you can have the whole roster averaging that, that's a damn efficient team. But yeah, those are my locks coming out of the East and the West. You got anything?
Yeah, kind of similar, but a little bit different than you. First, Ohio over Creighton. I think Creighton comes up short.
So you do it.
I think Ohio stays high. Yeah. In my initial bracket, I had Ohio going to the Sweet 16.
Creighton blew it to Georgetown. Georgetown blew it to Colorado. I think Creighton loses as well.
Yeah, I think Creighton goes out to Ohio. I also think Colorado's an automatic dub over Florida State.
Yeah, big time.
And then my next one, I do like UCLA over Abilene Christian.
You like UCLA?
Yes, I do.
And do you have a reason?
Okay, so if you look at the Abilene Christian Texas upset, right?
Yep.
The reason that Abilene Christian won that game, it was a very close game, 1-point game. Abilene Christian grabbed 18 offensive boards compared to Texas's 5. That is actually pretty ridiculous.
You think UCLA is going to do something?
Texas also gave them 23 turnovers. Texas shot 45% from the field, 35% from 3. Abilene Christian only shot 29% from the field and 16% from 3. Matt Coleman, Texas's best player, ended with 9, 3, 2, and 7 turnovers. So Texas had the worst game they've ever played. When you look at turnovers,
I forgot they had the 23 turnovers in a game.
That
was school franchise record.
But Abilene Christian didn't play out of their minds. They just didn't play as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
and they just barely skinned by. And it was a very good win. They did look okay. But I do like UCLA over this Abilene Christian team, especially if UCLA plays the way that they did against Michigan State or BYU.
No, that's fair. Like I said, I completely forgot that was where, because I was trying to think today when I was putting my notes together, where did that big turnover game happen? That's where it was.
Yeah.
I remember that, watching that, because we were watching it, and they had that graphic come up, and it was an asterisk, 23 turnovers, most in school history, and we were like, oh, that's how you lose against Abilene Christian.
Oh, absolutely.
You turn the ball over 23 times.
So, I mean, if Abilene Christian comes out and shoots 29% from the field and 16% from 3, they are going to get run over.
Just absolutely scraped.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just depends on how they play.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely
obviously, as we know from this tournament, anything can happen. So, it's like, but that's my lock.
No, that's fair.
UCLA, Colorado, and Ohio.
Yeah, no, we're pretty much the same, but I have Abilene. Moving on to the South and the Midwest, my lock's coming out of the Sweet 16, right, because we're getting that live show. Villanova beating Baylor. It's a 5 versus 1, and this is probably the most sketchiest lock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like it because it's going to be a good game for sure. 1 versus 5, and Baylor has a dang good offense, and they can move the ball really well. However, from what I've seen from Villanova in highlights, like I haven't watched any of their games, I haven't watched Baylor either, but from highlights, I don't know, I got a feeling that Villanova might do something different and knock off another number 1 seed.
Okay.
It kind of feels like a 2021 March Madness.
No, 100% could be. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because this year's crazy. My next lock comes in at Loyola Chicago.
Yeah.
Sister Jean's got it. She's got that charisma. She's got that charm at 101 years old, praying to Jesus, and I love it. I'm a big fan, and I hope she continues it. So I don't know what that was. I think Loyola Chicago's a lock, and they're playing. Who do they play?
Loyola's got Oregon State.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to write that down. Yeah, I got them. And then my next lock, my final lock, I guess, out of the South and the Midwest, is Syracuse beating Houston. Buddy put up 25 this last game, sealed the game with free throws, and they have 3 players on their squad that are averaging over 12 points and over 6 rebounds.
Yeah.
If you can have 3 guys, this is not Buddy, by the way, these are 3, so that's 4 guys that are going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So if you can have a team like that with a coach like that, and they're playing Houston, which looks like they play sloppy ball.
Yeah.
Houston does not look like they've played anybody competitive all year.
No.
And they're still a 2 seed.
They haven't.
So I think Syracuse is going to give them a run for money and take the show away.
Yeah. For me, kind of like last time, pretty similar but slightly different. My first lock is Baylor over Villanova.
Okay.
Baylor shoots the ball better than anybody beyond the arc in the entire league. Nova, just like I said in the last episode, Nova lost Colin Gillespie. That's huge. Baylor's guards play some of the best defense against the other team's backcourt in the nation as well. And if Nova doesn't have superb guard play, then Baylor's guards will just absolutely take over the game.
Yeah, they have to.
Villanova obviously has Jeremiah Robinson, Big East Player of the Year, and he's really good, and he's been doing his job. Everybody stepped up in this last win and the win before that. and they have looked good for the last 2 games, 2 rounds. But Baylor, I think their guard play is just a little too dominant for Nova, being down a couple guards.
Well, that's why that was my scariest lock or sketchiest lock, was because the only reason I'm really picking Villanova as a lock is because Baylor has been doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that tonight's an off night.
Yeah.
The 27th is going to be an off night.
And it could be. Very well could be. I just like Baylor's guards. I like the way that they play defense. I like the way they shoot the ball. And Nova's down a guy.
Yeah, Nova.
And not just down a guy, just they're down the guy.
They're
best player. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game for Nova. And I think Baylor pulls it out. My second lock is, like what you said, Loyola Chicago over Oregon State. We watched Oregon State last night play Oklahoma State.
Timeout. How do you feel about that? That was your
It was
lock
unfortunate.
bracket.
It was unfortunate.
Was
It was unfortunate.
Is that all you got? Yeah.
No, that's fair. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, so we watched that game last night. Oregon State looked good, but they didn't look great.
They didn't look like they could beat a Loyola Chicago.
And
big boy up down in the center.
It didn't look like if Oklahoma State would have played a more clean basketball game and just shot the ball slightly better.
That seemed like a very sloppy end of the game.
It was. It wasn't really pretty to watch. But Loyola plays very efficient, put together, high intensity basketball.
That big dude
and I
can
think,
move.
and they got that big dude. What's his name? Krutwig, I think.
Yeah.
Krutwig, I believe.
Looking up the big the center for Loyola Chicago?
I think it's Cameron Krutwig.
Is that his name? Yeah. What's his name? Cameron Krutwig, yeah.
He had like 19, 12, and 5 against Illinois and Kofi Cockburn, and that was actually ridiculous.
I don't know how he shut him down.
Kofi's one of the most ridiculous looking athletes
So
I've ever
dominant
seen.
down there.
I've ever seen play the game. I mean, it's gross.
And he made him look silly.
He's like 7 foot, 285. It's an
All
unreal
muscle.
body. Yeah, it's gross, dude. Yeah, he's super talented, great feet, smooth game.
Came out of nowhere.
And yeah, he lit up Illinois, and it did look pretty ridiculous there for a minute. But yeah, I do like Loyola over Oregon State. I think Oregon State tends to get a little sloppy, or at least they have. And I think Loyola is a lock there. My second lock is Syracuse over Houston, like you said.
Yeah.
I do not like Houston. I hate betting on Houston. I didn't even really want to take Houston out of that Rutgers game, but I did. But I think Syracuse has just got it rolling right now. I think Buddy Boeheim's going to do exactly what he's doing. And yeah, I think they're playing better team ball. And I do believe they have a better coach in Jim Boeheim.
Oh, 100%.
And yeah, I got Syracuse going to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. Well, now with my new Final Four, I have Syracuse going to the national championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can do it. Like you just mentioned, like I've said several times this episode, I think their coaching can do it. He's been there, done that, and he's got players that can perform and produce on the court.
Not out of the question, and they're hot, so
They are.
anything can happen, bro.
But my new Final Four is going to be Zags coming out of the West, Colorado coming out of the East, Villanova coming out of the South, and Syracuse coming out of the Midwest. I'm going to have Zags over Colorado. I think that if that comes down to that, that could be an extremely good game. Because like I said, like what I have said about Colorado and Gonzaga, I think Gonzaga will pull that out, though, and go to the national championship and possibly be the next team after IU to have an undefeated season. And then Villanova versus Syracuse. I had Syracuse winning that one just because I think they're going to continue this hot streak. And in the national championship, Zags versus Cuse. I am going to give it to Boeheim. I think Syracuse has got it this year. I think it'd be fun to watch, and I got a lot of family from up there, so I got a lot of people rooting for them as well.
Absolutely. My new Final Four looks like this. Got the Zags coming out of the West, Michigan coming out of the East. I got Baylor coming out of the South, and I got Loyola coming out of the Midwest.
Okay. We got winning Zags versus Michigan.
Zags, Michigan. I'm taking the Zags.
And then
Loyola, Baylor. I'm taking Baylor. I think it's going to be Gonzaga versus Baylor, and I think Gonzaga's going to win.
You're Gonzaga's the next undefeated national
I
champion?
really do. I think they're just that good this year.
You don't think anybody can beat them?
If
If you could give me one team that would put up the best game out of all 64 against Gonzaga, who would it be? Baylor.
Yeah.
And you think they can do it? 100%.
I think the Zags are going to beat Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just. I think they're that good this year.
Okay. No, one of my favorite teams, just because of the highlights and what I've watched, is damn near Colorado. I mean, just the way that they're.
Colorado is a really good basketball team.
But like you said, I think Zags are unbeatable. Do you have a new Final Four?
I do.
Okay.
So,
What you got over there, Ruby?
in the West,
Mm-hmm.
I had Virginia.
You did. They took a terrible loss.
That they did.
Trying to warn you, bro.
Yeah.
We did.
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
I mean, after this morning,
Mm-hmm.
watching the Oregon versus I forgot who they played now.
play? Oregon.
Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
After watching that, I'm taking them to the Final Four.
Taking Oregon to the Final Four out of the West.
Yes. I mean, yeah, it was an insane game.
No, it was.
It was insane.
It was.
They put up, I think, 95 points.
Yeah.
They looked
No, they
legit.
put up 102.
Yeah.
Scored, but they never played. This is their first game playing.
They were fresh. They were
They-
fresh.
they
That's
haven't
true.
played yet.
They got a bye.
No, they did.
So,
And
yeah.
I think it's a little effed up.
I agree.
Personally, because
I agree.
for Iowa to have to play round of 64, well, they had to play in their tournament for the
Mhm.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
They round of 64. Now then they had to play in the round of 32. And Iowa, this is their first. I mean, not Iowa, Oregon. This is their first time playing in the tournament. So they had fresh legs.
Sure,
Mhm.
but I do think they
No,
did some crazy
100%.
shit during that
Because
game.
Iowa's talented. It's not like they can't play with them.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Luka Garza ended with 36-8 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
36-9.
36 points
But-
is a lot.
Iowa had turnovers out the wazoo
Yeah, they
too.
did. Yeah, they did.
I'm gonna keep LSU
Okay.
in my Final Four.
All right, coming out of the East.
Yeah, yeah,
Who you
yeah.
got coming out of the South.
I'm staying with Villanova.
Okay.
Villanova,
Yeah.
Still got 'em.
Strong.
and then where I had Oklahoma State, I think
That was your biggest gut
yeah.
punch right there.
I think I'm gonna go with Syracuse,
You're going with Cuse.
who I had losing in the round of 64.
Right.
But after now watching these
Yeah.
games,
And listening to some experts.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense, 100%. So then who do you have in your championship? Oregon? It's gotta be.
I think it's gonna be Oregon.
You're right.
I think it's gonna be Oregon.
Go Ducks, baby.
Ducks
Go
versus...
Ducks.
Yes, Big O.
Um,
Where's the right O?
Ducks versus the Villanova.
You going with...
Villanova.
Yeah. And then...
The Villanova.
Villanova.
So then who wins your natty?
Villanova.
I don't know. I'm not comfortable answering that yet. I'll have an answer next episode.
Yeah, no, we'll recap next one.
Villanova. For the shit.
So who do you have winning? You got Zags.
I got the Zags.
I have Syracuse. And
To be
you have-
determined.
To be determined. Okay, I like it.
TBD.
No, that is a little TBD. So yeah, I mean that's really what we have for March Madness and what we've watched the past week. A little sports recap. Deshaun Watson. He is not doing hot right now.
Hot water, bro.
He has
He's
more
all in there.
sexual assault allegations than Sam Darnold had touchdowns in the 2020 season.
Which is not funny.
It's not. That's absolutely terrible.
That is disgusting.
That's absolutely foul.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm very happy now that I know who Deshaun Watson is, that the Bears didn't pick him up, because I don't want that head case in my locker room,
Nah.
and I don't want him to be on my team for 3 years, and then now he's in the courtroom because he's done all this disgusting stuff off of the field,
He might have to sit this year out regardless.
and I want him to.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody like that playing in the league.
No.
Moving on, Russ seems to be like he's staying in Seattle.
Yeah.
He came out with a video with his flag football team, said "Go Hawks," and that's kind of been his thing all year. I haven't seen him wear any lime green Seattle anything until that same video where he was working out when he had lime green cleats on. So I think they're starting to rebuild that.
Somehow, some way, they're figuring that out.
They need to.
I don't know why. I don't know how. But
I don't know
it's
why
happening.
they wanted to shop their franchise quarterback in the first place.
No clue.
It doesn't make any sense.
No clue.
I mean, he's been your guy since day one.
Huge question mark.
Yeah.
All over that
But it
organization.
seems like that they're repairing damages that have been done, and
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson are now seeming to find the same page.
Same page,
in
yeah.
the same
Yeah.
book. Juju re-signs with a 1-year, $8 million contract.
Took less.
He was offered $11 million and $13 million from the Ravens and the Chiefs. Said no to them.
Oh, why? Why would he do that?
Because he wants to wait till the next free agent market so he can get paid.
He doesn't want to win a Super Bowl?
He doesn't. He does, but he wants to do it with Big Ben.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, so that's what Juju did. A lot of people were thinking he may have gone to Indy. A lot of people were thinking
that was scary. Didn't want that.
So, but yeah, he turned down $11 million and $13 million from Super Bowl contenders to stay with the Steelers. Here's a huge thing. I'm super excited, super stoked. Andy Dalton is now my quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
I don't know how this is gonna sound in the microphone, but
well, you know that. No, it
did not sound good.
Andy Dalton, they call him the Red Rocket. That's what they call him on the field. He can sling it out there.
The only Red Rocket I know is the one that my dog has, and that thing's gross. And Andy Dalton fucking sucks.
Well,
I am sorry, dude. And that's so tragic, and I'm going to say a prayer for Bears fans for the next however long, maybe the rest of my life, until they decide to part ways with this motherfucker. I don't know. But that's a terrible move. That's embarrassing for the organization, and Ryan Pace should be fired.
So Blake Griffin's Nets debut. This is his first dunk since 2019. That's embarrassing and impressive at the same time.
It looked real slow. It looked like it almost hurt him to do it, and it kind of scared me a little bit.
That was his only made field goal that whole game.
Yeah, I don't know how.
He put up 2 points.
What was the contract he signed? How much are they paying him?
Didn't see that. Do you mind checking that? Blake Griffin's
Griffin, new contract, Brooklyn Nets.
I don't know.
Hopefully they didn't pay him too much, because I don't know how much productivity he's going to bring to this squad. I think it's a great name. I think it's a great reputation, but I don't know about paying him big money.
Did they pay him, or did they just pick up his contract
from
the Pistons?
I have no idea.
He signed. All right. However, former Clippers star earned $29.8 million from Detroit next year, and that's $200 join the Pistons after being traded less this season. 5-year deal in 2018. So a 5-year deal in 2018 would be a contract through 2023 season. So it looks like the Nets picked up his contract from Detroit. That is a massive contract to pick up.
Oh, why did they do that?
He's not even like a role player. No, he is a role player, but he's not a star.
He's a role player now.
He's coming off the bench,
as he should.
That's their sixth man, and he's being paid like the star.
I
don't like
that at all. I don't like that at all.
That's what he got paid, and like I just said last night, he had.
That dunk was his only field goal.
He shot twice.
Okay.
But he missed the shot.
Okay.
He made the dunk.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. No, sounds like Blake Griffin.
I don't know, dude.
So I don't know. We have seen his videos from the offseason. He seems like he got a jumper now, but I don't.
Yeah, he picked up a jumper, but he lost his legs.
No, he didn't.
And if you lose your legs,
what's the point of the jumper?
You just stick him in the corner. It's not like he's Klay Thompson either. So.
No, and he's definitely not Carmelo.
And he's not. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't either. As of right now, again, we're not a live show. The Rockets have lost 20 straight games.
I'm gonna do it again.
Terrible.
Trade Vic. Get him out of there. Blow that whole thing up, dude. They need to change it.
Coach over there?
I don't even know.
If you're a head coach in the NBA, I don't care if you have nobody on your team besides John Wall and Oladipo. You should be able to win one game out of 20.
Just give me one.
A game.
Just one.
Can you imagine being on a team that hasn't won
20 straight
games? You can only play one game a night, and they don't play every night.
It is tough. It's a tough situation they're all in, because Depot doesn't want to be there.
No.
John Wall got shorted. Boogie said, "Fuck that, bye. You gave me $1 million. Oh, that's good."
They just shopped PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker is now with the Bucks,
which is a huge acquire for them.
Eric Gordon's been dealing with injury, and
that went from like a contender.
It was an electric offense that they had running there for quite some time, and obviously they blow up the Harden-Russ duo. They blow that up, send them somewhere, try to bring in other guys. Boogie falls through. PJ Tucker leaves. Eric Gordon deals with injury. Vic doesn't want to be there, and John Wall isn't the old John Wall. So it's like, holy shit, are they just... that might be the worst organization in the league right now.
It seems like Houston, as a sports world right now,
Having a tough time.
need to fix some shit.
Having a tough time.
Mike Tyson turned down $25 million to fight Evander Holyfield.
He should. I'm worried he's not smart enough to fight anymore.
That's fair, because the last fight he just had was scripted out the ass.
they just laid on each other.
That's all they did.
And took a nap.
And everything was decided before they even fight.
I think if he takes one more hard hit to the face,
might be done. Like done. Like
he can
done.
barely talk as it is now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think he should fight anymore. He should just let his resume do the talking and hang up the boots and do
Agreed.
weird podcasts and talk about his drug addiction.
Yeah, no, he has that. He has that. And then the last thing, and this is mighty big, the NCAA weight room scandal. That was tragic.
That was
what
gross.
the NCAA thought they could get away with. That was terrible.
That was
But
tragic.
they thought that they could give the men's basketball tournament like an Olympic weight room. And then they go to the NCAA and they're like, yeah, I mean, yoga mats and like 10 dumbbells should do you all right.
Yo, I got you a 10-pound dumbbell, a 20-pound dumbbell, and a 5.
Yeah.
And a 30.
And a 30.
And a third.
But if
And
you guys
yoga
can't
mat.
use the 30, we only got you one anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, you guys can share.
What the hell?
Oh, and by the way, it's not a money problem.
No.
It's a space
Space
problem.
issue.
Even though we've got an entire gym over here,
Yeah,
we don't
that's
have enough space for that.
And then they found it real quick.
They found some space.
Isn't that weird?
Very interesting.
They found space really fast. I don't know how they did that, but they did it.
Yeah, bad luck.
And it seems like they somehow figured out to go to the right grocery store too.
Oh yeah, the food.
Yeah, they were serving them prison food.
Yeah.
And then now they are eating
I
at the
mean,
Bellagio.
Well, Stouffer
I mean,
Salisbury
if you
steak.
there's a video of their Salisbury steak. I'm gonna edit it in right here.
Yeah.
Salisbury steak. Look at this.
Look at it.
Disgusting. It looks gross.
It's literally prison food that would be slid underneath that little gap in the
gross.
It's terrible. So the fact that the NCAA thought they could get away with that is, I hope that they have some repercussions for that.
Yeah.
They should.
I hope
I
they
mean,
lose money.
It made me fill out a woman's bracket
Good.
because I felt that. I was like, I'll fill out a bracket. It sucks. My bracket sucks.
Well,
Hey, the men's one didn't do their
Yeah.
It's all good. But yeah, that was absolutely terrible. Shame on the NCAA for doing that.
agreed.
But yeah, that's all we have for you today. Before you guys leave, in the link in the description below, you can get a $20 Amazon gift card and support our show if you create a paid account via Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is a podcast program that allows new podcast creators to build a show with ease. They get your show on all major platforms, and they offer different paid accounts starting at $12 a month, which is really easy and awesome and affordable because they help you with things such as directory help, monetization help, and they provide statistics. Appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are listening and not watching, the link is www.buzzsprout.com/refer_ID equals 1674703. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Tuesdays at 5. Logan, Noah, Lucas Rufus Roof. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Appreciate it.